January 10th, 2013. I wasn't a He-Man fan, but Gallery 1988 is running the awesome Masters of the Universe art show.
Wait a minute!
I wasn't a He-Man fan. What do you mean you weren't a He-Man fan? That's very, very interesting.
Got him! Got him!
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. Hey, I'll be live streaming immediately after publishing this video, so make sure you watch this, leave a like, a comment, but then stop by the live stream. Just want to catch up with y'all, talk about some of the drama of the week, and give you a kind of a health check on what we're going to do for the rest of June on the channel. So I'd love to see you there. Now, Masters of the Universe Revelation is exciting, sort of, except it's kind of marred in the Kevin Smithery of it all. Somewhere he's taking a selfie of himself crying and posting it on the internet. But here's the thing. I think, honestly, the trailer looks awesome. It just does. I mean, it's funny how He-Man's totally fine being ultra buff, and Skeletor, but somehow they had to rework She-Ra. Isn't that interesting how that works? I mean, it's curious. It's curious how that works. And, you know, there's a reason why one of them is number 7 on trending right now with 2.1 million views and 94,000 upvotes to 847 downvotes. Now, it does have a bit of that original vibe. Now, I grew up a He-Man fan. When I was a kid, I remember several He-Man birthday-themed cakes that I would get, and I'm excited for this show. However, I am concerned about several of the rumors that He-Man will take a backseat in his own show. Now, there are rumors of that. The trailer itself doesn't really indicate that that would be the case. However, it is produced by Netflix. So, I mean, we saw what Netflix just did to Resident Evil. So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all. What I am concerned about, though, and by the way, look, I want to kind of point something out here, you know, just to my viewers in general. It's okay to like things. It just is. And if you want to watch Loki, can't even watch me right now. I'm out of focus. If you want to watch shows like Loki and just enjoy them for what they are, you totally should do that. You know, my gripe about Loki right now is that, you know, it has some laughs. It's okay. It's just a TV show. The idea that everything in the MCU is predetermined, that's a problem. But, you know, whatever. I mean, you can pick apart everything, and eventually you won't like anything out there. So I don't want my viewers to get black-pilled and just hate everything. And you shouldn't feel ashamed if you're excited for Masters of the Universe Revelation, because, I mean, I'm going to give it a chance, but I'm concerned of Kevin Smith's fraud. You could see this is all the receipts. Usually Cosmic Book News has a lot of rumors, but this is absolutely receipts provided. And you see, you know, weird stuff like this. Kevin Smith says He-Man very LGBT, lots of dialogue, no action. What? He says, I think the transformation scene, I think when we'll go over very well. I love that they chose the rainbow color scheme. I think it's going to be a hit with the She-Ra crowd. Regarding the heavy on the dialogue, insiders have filled in Randolph that the show is 70% dialogue, which might mean it might be light on the action. Now I have a little inside intel for you, a little He-Man tea. That is because Kevin Smith was hired. I hear the show is very dialogue heavy. That probably won't be reflected in the trailer. I hear it's a 70-30 split between dialogue and action. Maybe they talk while there's some action. I mean, I don't think that that's a problem. I mean, dialogue is cool. I'd like to see some of these characters fleshed out a little bit more. There is some concern that Hamill just kind of sounds like Joker, and it is hard to kind of get it out of that, to get it out, to unhear Joker when he's voicing, but he's a very good voice actor. You see more potential bad news for Kevin Smith's new He-Man series coming from Netflix. New trailer is described as very LGBT to go along with the woke rumors. Made the trailer seem very LGBT to go along with Netflix She-Ra series. I didn't see that. I mean, yeah, okay, so there's rainbow colors. I mean, I didn't see that. I mean, it just seemed to me that He-Man was awesome. It had like the 80s vibe. Sometimes you can see anything you want, right? When you're looking for it. This just looks like sweet 80s retro with kind of better drawings, and I don't know, it seems okay. But this is a problem. Kevin Smith is apparently a big fraud when it comes to He-Man. He's been caught in a big fat lie. A tweet unearthed from 2013 reveals Smith stating he is not a fan of He-Man. In addition, it appears that either Kevin Smith, Netflix, or both have been lying to fans about the show's plot. Quote, I wasn't a He-Man fan, but Gallery 1988 is running the awesome Masters of the Universe art show. Look. So, he's not. Why is this a problem? I think you can produce something that that you weren't a super mega fan of when you were young. You can get caught up and understand and appreciate it. But the problem is, when you look at Entertainment Weekly's interview, he described himself as a He-Man super fan. In Entertainment Weekly's exclusive First Look article, Smith described as a He-Man super fan. Everything I've ever worked on in like 27 years, this is easily the top 5 favorites, most satisfying projects, says Kevin Smith, a He-Man super fan who runs Revelation and executive produces with Mattel's Television and a bunch of other people. Yeah. When I die, they'll be like, he made Clerks, remember? Because that was the most memorable thing I think I've ever done. I think this has a running shot at being like, he made Clerks and that one cartoon that one time. I mean, it's difficult because this isn't Kevin Smith saying I'm a He-Man superfan, right? It's editorialized. Says Kevin Smith, a He-Man superfan who runs this kind of stuff. So did he say that he's a superfan? I don't know, but certainly if he's in any interviews now talking about how he loves He-Man, then, he admitted he wasn't a fan. Now, did he become a fan of a show from the 80s randomly in the last 3 years? I don't know. Maybe a big paycheck. You see this back in 2019 at PowerCon when Master of the Universe series was announced. Smith also compared his love of Master of the Universe to his love of DC and Marvel. I'm a big genre fan. I'm a big, obviously, DC Marvel Universe fan, but Masters of the Universe as well. MOTU is right alongside with it. However, Smith actually says he didn't collect any He-Man figures as he was 14 at the time, but claims he watched his friends and was fully into it. Unfortunately, it came right after I stopped collecting toys, and when I stopped collecting toys, it was my mother who told me, you're 14, no more toys. So I watched my friends buy the toys, but I was fully engaged with the cartoon because I was an after-school kid, so I'm well-versed in the lore. Smith actually says Mattel's Rob David, an executive producer on the series, is a big He-Man fan, but look what David actually says about his ideas for, quote, progressing characters. And what if there were no Adam? What if there was no Adam? What would He-Man be then? What if Skeletor got the power? What if the Destiny is Teela? These are, talking about maybe having Teela being the star. Then, of course, recall the following announcement. A rumor offered that Teela would take over the He-Man hero duties, which Smith refuted in a tweet. As showrunner, I really could use these story suggestions before we lock the scripts. However, no, He-Man does no stepping aside for Teela, has no girlfriend in our show. The storyline is pretty dark and way metal. Before Revelation, we're calling it End of the Universe. We were calling it End of the Universe. He also tweeted, I've read every Masters official script for their shows, plus wrote a few, and viewed for amazing animatics. While Teela is as present as she's always been in the Masters of the Universe adventures, she plays a big role. Our series is literally about He-Man. So this is something that he continues to deny. So, I mean, at this point, he's doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on it. So I tend to, this would be a spectacular embarrassment if it wasn't. That said, I mean, we can look at like the Witcher series. The Witcher series isn't about The Witcher, especially we can see with the season 2 trailer. It's about the females. And it's a fine show. I like it. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a 7 out of 10. It's a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely worth watching. And there's nothing wrong with strong female characters, but it's called The Witcher, and it's not even really about The Witcher. So, I mean, he's in it plenty, but I mean, the women have probably more screen time. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is really a caught in 4K moment? I mean, this is a tweet from 2013 where he's saying I wasn't a He-Man fan. But he said he was. So I'm guessing that if you said that you weren't a fan of something, that's probably true. He has every financial reason in the world to pretend he was a super fan now. But look, if he delivers a final product that's awesome, who cares? I just hate when people pander. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.